For my clicker training, I used my friend's dog. His name is Bentley. He's a 5-year-old Keyshawn, neutered male. I found this was a little bit difficult using a dog that wasn't mine or all too familiar with me because he didn't have the instinct to listen to me as well as he did as my friend. With this, he also got overwhelmed with me going into the house and trying to train him when he wasn't all too familiar with me. So with that, I did find a hard time training him, and he did tend to get overwhelmed and want to kind of hide away and kind of get away from the whole training situation.
Conditioning the clicker is different than habituation. When a dog is classically conditioned to react to the clicker, it'll react happily to the sound of the click because it anticipates the treat that comes afterwards. The treat is the primary reinforcer, and it follows the secondary reinforcer, which is the click.
Another lesson that was gone over with Bentley is free shaping. To free shape a behavior is to reward a behavior that the pet does naturally. Whenever I was initially training Bentley, he did not understand the command of lay down. This is because he would get halfway there in a sitting position and expect a treat. To free shape this behavior, I would see Bentley laying down whenever he lay down throughout the house, and I would give him a treat and reward him for doing that action. By doing this, he eventually understood the difference in that he has to go all the way to the ground in order to receive the treat from what he did naturally. So I was able to free shape this behavior, and now he understands the difference in the command.
Lay down. Lay down.
Another lesson from this was adding a cue. The cue I've added for Bentley is shake. In order to add a cue, the technique or the behavior must first be known strongly and learned well. Bentley has learned to shake. In order to ensure that this cue is added, Bentley shakes, places his paw back on the ground to do an opposite behavior, and then is commanded with the cue to shake.
Paw. Paw. Thank you.
When a dog is trained with partial reinforcement, the dog is only treated for that trick or that behavior part of the time. Doing this strengthens the behavior for the fact that it is more resistant to extinction. For this, I did partial reinforcement for sit because Bentley obviously naturally sits, and I don't want him to expect a treat every single time he sits, and that is the behavior that I would like to be most resistant to extinction, as it is very commonly used.
Sit.
For target training, I taught Bentley to touch my hand. I did this initially by rewarding him anytime he came in contact with my hand. Say if he sniffed it, he put his head by it, anything like that, I would reward him. Then I would let him set, take away from touching my hand, and reward him again. If he used his paw to touch my hand, or if my hand touched his paw, I would reward him. And eventually he connected that every time he were to touch my hand, he would get a click and a treat.
Sit. Touch. Good boy.
With extinction, an undesired trait is eliminated. When Bentley initially was being trained, he was given to sit and lay down or anything, and he was waiting for that treat, he would often bark until I gave him the treat. To make this extinct, I would not give him the treat if he barked or made sounds. I'd make him sit there and wait. By waiting silently, I would give him the treat. But this eliminated the action of barking.
Benny. Benny, come here. Sit. Wait. Good boy.
DRA, differential reinforcement of alternative behavior, is used to reduce a problem behavior by rewarding an alternative behavior. An example and what I trained Bentley to do for this is easy. I conditioned him and I rewarded him for taking the treat easily rather than aggressively or jumping up to get the treat as he was doing before.
Easy. Easy.
Whenever you're training your dog, a lot of people will train the dog in the same environment. Say you're training your dog to sit, lay down, shake, you're doing it in the kitchen. The next time you train your dog, you do it in the kitchen as well. Whenever this behavior is generalized, it means that the dog will have the ability to respond to that cue in a different environment as well. So when you tell your dog to sit in the kitchen, it's the same as telling your dog to sit outside. That'll make the behavior generalized. With Bentley, I was unable to do this because I would train him in the kitchen, and anything in the living room, outside, or anything would get Bentley very distracted and he wouldn't listen to me. This could be because I'm not his owner, it was one of my friend's dogs, I don't have a dog, as well as Bentley does have anxiety, so he's on medications and stuff because he gets so worked up over new stimulus and new people and everything. So I was unable to show a generalized version of this because I did most of the training in the kitchen. A behavior chain is a series of behaviors that are linked together by a sequence of cues, and then the reinforcement is given at the end. To back chain a behavior would be to take the last behavior of the chain and teach it first. And then the first behavior of the chain is done last. So with Bentley, he was able to lay down. I did lay down and then sit, so that the chain would be sit, then lay down. So he sits, I give him the cue to lay down, and he would do that, then he receives the reinforcer. I asked him to do this as well with Bentley, with spin and then sit, and he eventually was able to figure out the chain.
Ready, sit, lay down, lay down.